Hey gang, Ronan here. Welcome on back to the Cade and another episode of Suckerpunch Sunday, the series where we do a deep dive into a classic fighting or fighting platform-based game from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th generation. And for this week, well, we're halfway through October, which means Halloween is on the horizon. And to be honest, I'm not a really big fan of horror-based games or even games that have much of what you would consider a Halloween theme to it. But if you do enough digging and diving like we do, you manage to come across some that can fit the bill. And for this week, we're going to go back to 1992 and the Sega Genesis / MegaDrive. We're actually going to play a sequel to a game that was originally released on the Turbo-Grafx 16, also known as the PC engine if you grew up outside the US. And it's a game that actually capitalized on a lot of things that the people who liked horror movies, of which I am not a fan personally, not that I have any issues with those of you who are, just not my bag for reasons that I will explain as we get into this. But if you grew up with 80s and 90s type horror movies and you're a fan of it, then this is a game that's probably right up your street because it encompasses a lot of the things that horror fans liked about that particular genre, as well as genres past, going all the way back to the 50s and even all the way back to the classic Universal monster movies of the 1930s / early 1940s. We are going to play Splatterhouse 2. Now, as I said, the original Splatterhouse came out on the Turbo-Grafx 16 PC engine back in 1989. This game was released in the UK, US, and Japan in the summer of 1992. Now, if you're not familiar with this series, or you're not familiar with this game, I'll give you the rundown on how the original one worked. So it was two kids at a local university, Rick and Jennifer, take refuge from a storm in what's called West Mansion, a local landmark known as the Splatterhouse, for the rumors of hideous experiments purportedly conducted there by Dr. West, a renowned and missing parapsychologist. Jennifer gets kidnapped, Rick awakens in a dungeon and finds that he is in the company of a mask called the Hell Mask. It's a Mayan sacrificial artifact that he puts on and turns him into, because copyright doesn't really allow them to say so, somebody who looks very much like a hockey mask bedecked villain of some repute. And then you go through the game trying to get Jennifer back. Well, this game picks up 3 months after that has transpired. Rick is still suffering from guilt because apparently at the end of the first game he's not able to save Jennifer. But now this game offers him the opportunity to go get her back. So this is our boy Rick, complete with the mask on his face. And how this game works is pretty simple. You have your jump button, you have two jump buttons with your A or C, and then your B button is attack. And you can do kicks, you can do punches, and along the way you can pick up other items and have melee weapons that you can use as well. Now, one of the things that they were trying to make sure, because the outcry about this game, or at least the original game, was that because you play essentially the villain, or you play the guy who is responsible for turning everything into goo. Of course, it was one of those games that parents apparently hated in mass quantities. But of course, us kids back in the day, we loved it. Now you see below, I'm going to pause this really quick so you have an idea of how this works. So I have 4 what looks like hearts. I'm assuming that's what those are. Those are my life gauges. I believe I have 3 lives up top of the skulls. You have your score, and then you have the item. In this case, I think that's a 2x4 that I'm picking up and I'm swinging around. Now that looks like one of them beasties is going to drop from the ceiling on me. And I don't want that. those guys look like the chest bursters from the original Alien. It looks like there's 2 more that's going to drop here. But they didn't. Okay. Fine with me. Ah! We got an ankle biter. But in order to help appease parents who were of particular mind not to let their kids play this sort of game, even though you can see it is quite graphic in its depiction of gore and whatnot, when you take out these guys, they bleed green. Ooh, boy, you're a handsome feller. Ow. Now I'm getting hit, my life isn't dropping. This is weird. Why is my life not dropping? I have not done anything to alter this game. I don't even know if I can. By the way, I'm not playing with a Game Genie or any cheat codes or anything like that, but I should have had more life drop on that. Now, I am playing this on the Fusion 3.64 emulator, which shouldn't impact the gameplay. But we got through stage 1, and now we're going through stage 2. And we got these guys who sound like wailing banshees. Now, I've been hit a couple of times, and still my life's not going anywhere. Why is that? I'm not complaining, mind you. But I don't believe that's a standard feature in this game. So, if you try it, just bear that in mind. I don't think that's usually how this is supposed to work. So, in making Splatterhouse 2... Namco didn't do a whole lot different in terms of the gameplay or even the graphics between 1 and 2. And they did do a third Splatterhouse game. But of the 3, Splatterhouse 2 is considered one of the better ones, if not the best in the series. Now, you could ask why it is that I'm not playing the original Splatterhouse, which is a perfectly valid question. Part of the problem is that trying to find a Turbo-Grafx 16 emulator is really difficult. It's one of the few consoles that I know of that they've not really come up with a decent enough emulator, at least not that I've ever found. If you've ever found one that works, you know, by all means, leave it in the comments and let me know. Because the Turbo-Grafx 16, like the Neo-Geo, is a system that I never really got to play that much. In fact, I had one... I guess he was a friend at the time. Back in middle school who had one. And we played games like Bonk's Adventure and stuff like that. But I remember when the Turbo-Grafx came out. So we have another boss fight here. Ah! Hello. I don't want to get hit by that. Ow. I'm still not losing any life. Alright, so I think I gotta hit him in the eyes. I can't get too close. Yeah, definitely hit him in the eyes. And my life still hasn't gone anywhere. Ugh! And I made his eyeballs explode. Gross. But anyway, back to the Turbo-Grafx 16. Like I said, I had a friend of mine in middle school who had it. And we played games like Bonk's Adventures and Devil's Crush, but I never had a chance to really get that far into it. But it was also in part because the Turbo-Grafx 16 did not end up selling that well in the US. I think that led companies like Namco okay, so avoid the... I had a feeling those were pets, considering I knocked... Don't like the fish. But yeah, due to the lack of success the Turbo-Grafx 16 had, it led game developers to start taking games that would have likely gone onto that console and be ported over onto stuff like the Super NES or the Genesis. Now, Splatterhouse never came out, damn fish, on the Super Nintendo. It was exclusive only to the Genesis or the MegaDrive. Oh, it has a chainsaw. Alright, something is definitely up with this game, only because I should have been dead quite a while ago, because these shears should have torn me apart. Now this seems like a very sadistic game of whack-a-mole. And you can clearly see what it is I'm hitting, so, I mean, ick. And there's more of them. Alright, are we done yet? Uh-oh. Alright, have we gotten... No, we have not gotten through the demon babies yet. Definitely splat. So I made it through that level, which was nothing short of disgusting. And now it looks like I'm back at the house. Now this game, when it came out, Game Informer gave it a 9 out of 10. GamePro gave it a 5 out of 5. Alright, what is this thing that is chasing me, and why can't I get ahead of it? Pretty sure that should have killed me. But Mega Action gave it 88%. Mega Play gave it 26 out of 40. Sega Force Magazine was a bit more critical. They gave it 63%. In their review, they called the controls sluggish and suggest the gameplay lets the whole thing down. Video Games and Computer Entertainment agreed, arguing that Splatterhouse 2 does nothing to advance the genre. Not like... I don't think it was really trying to. Mean Machine Sega also noted the poor graphics and short single-player campaign. I will say the levels are fairly straightforward. But for a 16-bit game, I don't think I can say that the graphics are terrible. I've seen a lot worse in a 16-bit game, I'll tell you that. I will say the levels are fairly repetitive as far as layout. Don't put me in the hole. I don't think I can get out of that hole if I go into it. Now these guys are annoying because I can't get them off me. Okay, so I am not dead going down the hole. I'm still not dead taking any damage, which makes... That makes no sense to me. This is the first time I've played a game where I am truly invincible. Because I should have been dead at least 3 or 4 times over by now. Quit working the lever, dude. Alright, so it looks like I go up this way. Now, this game was never reported. Alright, so this looks like The Fly. If you've ever seen David Cronenberg's The Fly, this guy looks like he resembles it. Alright, come here with that damn slide kick of yours. Now, as I said from the outset, I am not a big horror movie guy. And it's not that I don't appreciate what they are, and I don't appreciate the creativity that goes into them. It's that I was exposed to horror movies way too young as a kid. Is this gonna splatter all over the... Ugh! Cool, it went from being The Fly to coming right into out of something that resembled John Carpenter's The Thing. I don't need a frickin' head spider coming after me, thank you very much. And stuff like this is why I don't like horror movies. Alright, did it finally explode? Thank you, you're gone. So it looks like we're close to the house. But yeah, I saw the original Poltergeist when I was 5 years old. And if you've never seen that movie, by modern standards, it's probably not that gross. But it wasn't so much the gore or the horror of it. It was a lot of the stuff that was in it that was designed to give you scares. And I'm not spoiling anything by talking about a 40-year-old movie now, but like, the big thing that got me... Can I get that shotgun? Ah! Give me the shotgun. But yeah, I think about the middle of the movie, there's a point where one of the kids has a huge tree outside their bedroom, and the tree comes through the wall and tries to eat him. Now, I'm 5 years old watching this movie, and then I have to go home to my house, which is the first house I lived in at the time, and try to go to sleep with a big old tree sitting outside my window. I think you can see where that's going. So no, I did not have a good time with it. And what I've learned over the years is that even though I understand, and I'm really into special effects, and I love how the creativity of things like makeup and various practical effects are done, at some point, my brain figured that it didn't matter whether it was fake or not. If it looked realistic enough, then it took that concept and ran with it. And as a result, I could just never enjoy horror movies, because my imagination will go so far as to just completely make me think it's real, which sucks. It's not fun. And I'm not saying that to complain. I mean, I'm just simply saying that is just, I think with some people, that's how they have that sort of visceral reaction to it. But like, it took me close to 30 years to be able to watch the original Alien. And don't get me wrong, I love that movie. The original Alien is one of the truly great films. Forget genre. It's one of the great films ever made. It is an exceptional movie. And I would challenge anybody who says otherwise. But because Ridley Scott was so committed to making that seem like what was happening on screen was feasible, it amped up the fright that much more. And when you're a young impressionable kid, that's not fun. Well, we're tearing through this game. We've been playing for about 23 minutes or so. I'm curious as to whether or not we might be able to finish it. I still, for the life of me, don't understand why it is I'm not taking damage. What I might have to do before the game is over, before I stop recording this, is actually check the setup to confirm if it's automatically set that way or not. Like, if there's a difficulty level. Because I'm playing it straight as it comes out of the box. But I should have taken a whole lot more damage at this stage than I have. Because, I mean, I've been set on fire a couple of times. I've had these guys hit me. And I wonder if that was the boss. Was that the boss? That was the boss. Huh. So I just had to get close enough to him and hit him. Okay. Now, they did do a third Splatterhouse game, like I said. And it came out the following year in 1993, and it was not considered the best of the bunch. And then in 2010, there was a remake of this game that was done by Namco Bandai for the PS3 and the Xbox 360. So it looks like we have Jennifer back. But only just, because... Dragged back down into the abyss she goes. Now I'm bashing heads in. Ugh. Down to the pit we go. Alright, this level could be annoying just because of the strobe factor of it. And I can already tell that this particular level is designed to completely frustrate you to the point where you cannot have a couple of lives lost. Because when you have enemies coming at you from both sides, and you can only hit one of them, and getting zapped by these rays, they're just, the gap is just thin enough that they still zap me. But now it looks like we have Jennifer. Except not quite. Alright, whoever this guy is. I can't hit him. And the house is collapsing. So we have Jennifer, and now we've got to get out. So you would have to avoid the debris of the house falling in, and these guys on the lift, who keep regenerating. And now we go out this way. And now we're on a boat. Which means something's going to be chasing us. Oh, it's that Kraken. I think what I got to do, when its eye is open, I got to hit it. Trying to get the timing on this is really annoying, and it's a good thing I can't die, because Okay, we finally hit it once. There we go. So it is a jump throw. Alright, you frickin' Kraken. Usually it's one that calls for 3 hits. I guess this one's gonna be 5. And I keep whiffing on picking them up. Alright, I can see why this particular part of the game would be really annoying. Because every time I let a spine go, he's got his eyes shut. Finally hit it. Come on, you bugger. Just gotta get the timing right on it. Maybe that's 5? There we go. So we made it to land. Now, are we done? Nope. All right, come back here. So now it's just going to come straight down the middle. I got to avoid the wolf's heads. Alright, come down one more time. I guess we can hit Batty McBatterson here just enough. All right, is it finally done? And there goes the mansion into the drink. The monstrous visage disappeared into the lake. The terror mask has left me as I was with Jennifer. But what of the mask? As long as that mask remains, it can happen again. Bum bum bum. So that, in a nutshell, is Splatterhouse 2 for the Sega Genesis from 1992. Now, question is it a good game? I mean, I have to be honest here and include the fact that for whatever reason, the emulator set it up where I couldn't take any damage. Like, I have a couple of different versions of Splatterhouse 2 that I have available in my emulator collection. I picked one at random. I didn't grab one thinking, hey, this one's going to let me be invincible through the whole game. So because of that, I can't really speak to the difficulty level of it. However, I can insofar that, like most side-scrollers, the pattern recognition is such that it is designed to chew up as much life as you have and eat through as many lives as you have. So it would take a lot of time and a lot of patience. Fortunately, there's no timers on each level, and the levels aren't that long. So you can kind of pick your battles and take your time figuring out how it's all going to play out. And then once you get a better understanding of how the bosses work, then you should have a fairly easy time of it, at least in the first couple of levels. By the time you get to the end, like that whole Technicolor portal thing we were going through to get to Jennifer, that is designed to chew up life, and that final boss battle is designed to do the exact same thing, as was the lift to get out of the house. That is part of the... That's part of the difficulty spike that's baked into a lot of games like this. And you can find that as a reason to put in the time and get better at it, or not. It's entirely up to you. But is this a game they can make today? Well, as I said, they did do a remake of it in 2010. It received mixed reviews, and it pretty much stuck to the original story. But as far as I know, there was no interest in actually trying to make a secondary one. Now, this is what I want to look at here. Okay, so level normal, difficult, game master. So I did it on normal difficulty, and I can't imagine on difficult that I would have any worse a time, or it would be that much harder for me to lose life on it. So I was playing it on standard difficulty. Like I said, I ran it as it supposedly came out of the box. But for whatever reason, I wasn't losing health on it. If you try this game, and if it sounds like something that's up your street, I would recommend it. I would not count on it giving you the same courtesy it somehow gave me. So, and also, if you want to play the original one, again, you've got to be able to utilize the a PC Engine or Turbo-Grafx 16 emulator. And I would imagine they're probably out there by now, but in my experience, trying to find one was really difficult. So, like I said earlier, if you know of one, by all means, leave it in the comments. I'll be happy to take a look at it. And if it's something we can incorporate into future playthroughs or things that we can highlight on the channel, I absolutely will do that, because it falls right in line with everything else that we offer here at the Retrocade. So, we're at 40 minutes though. That is Suckerpunch Sunday for this week. Hopefully you've been enjoying the content on the channel to this point, as well as our ongoing playthrough of Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden for the PS1, of which we are still recording episodes on that to carry over through November, since I'm going to be off and we're going to be on hiatus from recording new material, because I have a project, like I've said, that I'm working on throughout that entire month. We are also we're just about wrapping up with our playthrough, our what-if scenario on Sports Saturday of rebuilding and establishing the New England Patriots dynasty on NFL 2K2 for the Sega Dreamcast, which does not feature Tom Brady. We've gotten through the first round of the playoffs. Next up is the AFC Championship game. If we win that, we go to the Super Bowl. And if we can do that, then we've managed to get over the first great hurdle in that scenario. So hopefully you guys will tune in for that. Also, be sure to follow us on social media through Instagram and Threads. Everyone's Retrocade. Help spread the word about us as we continue to build the channel and make it bigger and better. We are on the cusp of 200 subscribers, which I know in the YouTube scheme of things is a drop in the bucket. But it means a ton to us because it means that we are slowly growing numbers. More people are seeing what we're offering, and that is what we can hope for as we put this channel in the direction we want it to go. Again, we're not doing this to make a ton of money. We're not making any money on it, honestly. But we do it because we love these games. We love talking about games. We love doing explorations of games. And we like checking out stuff that you guys might not have a whole lot of familiarity with and bringing that to you in a fairly bite-sized way. So thank you to everybody who has subscribed in the last couple of weeks. And then hopefully before the end of the year, we can top that 200 number and look ahead to what is on the horizon in 2025. My name is Ron. It's been great to spend the Suckerpunch Sunday with you. Be safe, be well, happy gaming. And we'll talk to you tomorrow as we carry on with Super Robot Wars Alpha Gaiden. Bye.